As I thought about what I wanted the message of my Christmas video to be, I really struggled a lot with it. And I even reached out to my patrons and said, any ideas? And I got a lot of great ideas. And in the end, I kind of take ideas and kind of come up with a message. And sometimes I don't even know what my message is going to be until I turn on the camera. And I kind of woke up this morning, kind of inspired, I guess. And so I'm turning on my camera and I'm feeling already really emotional. And I'm going to share. And the reason I'm calling this Sad Christmas is because for a lot of people, this is not a happy holiday. For a lot of people, it's about loneliness. It's about feeling let down. It's about bad memories and regret and all kinds of things that aren't necessarily fun. And last year I did a video called How to Be Alone on Christmas, in which I addressed something that I had experienced in my adulthood since my marriage about being alone. But the fact is that Christmas has always been kind of lonely for me. And I'm going to share personal stuff with you. And the reason I share personal stuff with you is because I know it helps a lot of people to feel not so alone. I've said a lot that I think my story, I've always felt that I had a story to be told. And I think the message in my story is not what I've been through, but how I have been able to work through it and come out the other side. And, you know, I think a lot of that is probably going to be in a book, or who knows, maybe it'll come out in videos. Christmas has always been really sad for me. And the fact that this year I got so much love from people I never met has been really emotional for me and bringing up a lot of old stuff. So, you know, Christmas is supposed to be happy and joyous and full of family and full of love. And for a lot of us, just not the reality. And that's what my channel is about. My channel is about saying that what we see isn't the reality for so many of us. And so I want to be here to kind of say this is really the reality. So Christmas for me has been, throughout my life, not really happy. And as an adult, I mean, I've always been kind of triggered on my birthday, on holidays. And part of the reason for that is because I don't have fond memories of holidays. I don't have fond memories of childhood, period. And, you know, we can't just say that, oh, get over it, it's in the past. Things like holidays, when there's so much pressure to be happy and to be with families and to be joyous and to be free and giving and blah, 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 and all those things. I mean, a lot of us get really triggered by that, and I get triggered still by it every year. For me, holidays, as far back as I can remember, were shrouded in fear, anxiety, uncertainty. Some of my earliest memories are being afraid, being of the rage that was around me. Holiday dinners that my mother worked really hard to make, ending up on the floor, scattered all over the house, because in a fit of rage, the dining room table was flipped upside down. And then later, wrapping myself up in a blanket, maybe a nice new blanket that I got for Christmas, wrapping myself up tight like a tortilla so that I wouldn't be bothered. And then later, when my father left, my mother waking up on Christmas morning with her boyfriend at our house, her boyfriend who, by the way, hated kids, and she told us that, rushing through opening presents and maybe a quick meal at a restaurant so that she could go spend the rest of the day with his family. And we were told that we weren't good enough to go. My brother and I. Literally, we were told we weren't good enough. We didn't know how to behave. We weren't good enough to go spend Christmas with my mother and her boyfriend's family, the man she's still with today. So I remember from about 11, 12, 13 years old on, after my father left, just me and my brother just being sad, you know, just trying to kind of make sense of why we were left alone on Christmas and Easter and so many other important days in our lives. And so then I got married and I inherited 2 stepkids that I had to really think about long and hard whether or not I wanted to be a stepmom, because parenthood was never something I wanted. No surprise, right? And, you know, in the end, I decided, yeah, you know, I can do this. And for 13 years, I tried to make a home for them part-time. You know, I tried to make Christmases special for them. And all my life, in my marriage and in relationships before my marriage, I tried to pretend other people's families were my own. I tried to pretend that, you know, by marriage or by being a boyfriend or by being a friend, I could inherit somebody else's family, because I never felt that I had my own, really. I mean, my own family deserted me on so many levels and abandoned me and abused me and neglected me. And, you know, so for years, I tried to adopt my husband's family, his kids, his parents, and his parents and his sisters loved me and were very welcoming. But I failed with his kids. I didn't know how to connect with them. I didn't know how to form my own personal relationships with them. And so, to this day, we have not spoken since the divorce, and I have regrets about that. So, you know, this holiday isn't fun for everybody. This holiday brings up a lot of really hurtful, painful stuff for a lot of people. And I just want to let you know, if you're out there and you're one of those people, you're not alone. That I'm here. I feel your pain. And when you write to me and share your stories with me, sometimes I just cry listening to your stories. Of those of you who understand what I've been through, and through me sharing my stories, you can feel not so alone too. And I think the positive message maybe that I want to leave you with, I think the positive out of this, I don't want to leave sadness. I don't want to leave you with feeling that there is no hope. I think that one of the things that I have been striving for, and I said at the beginning of this video, I said that, you know, I share my story not to share just to kind of unload the bad stuff. I share my story to share my journey of how I have learned how to deal with it. It never goes away. Never, never, never. The horrible things, you know, a 9-year-old girl having to wrap herself up in her blankets at night to be safe doesn't ever go away. Ever. And just because we don't talk about it, just because I've never talked about it in public before, doesn't mean it didn't happen. It happened. The thing is, with abuse and sexual abuse and all those other icky things, we have been taught to not talk about it. You don't talk about it because people don't want to hear it. You don't want to talk about it because it's too painful, it's too uncomfortable for people to hear. But the fact is, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, especially that, it develops a pattern. It develops a pattern of feeling like you're not good enough. It develops a pattern of feeling like you're just an object, of being, that's all you're here for. You're here to be an object for other people, and you don't have a say. That's your job. Your job on this planet is to please other people. And so it develops a pattern of not knowing that you have a choice about your own body. And didn't mean to go on that tangent, and I don't know if I'll leave it. But my point is that by looking within, by understanding how for years and years and years and years and years I denied what happened to me. I really did. Nope, that didn't happen. Nope, you know, I'm strong, I'm powerful. Nope, I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm not going to let that affect me. And by denying it, I almost made it worse. I kept covering it up. I kept making excuses. I was acting out, but didn't realize I was acting out. And so by denying what happened to me, I was just kind of piling junk on top. So by the time it came, you know, for me to really dig in and start dealing with it, first I had to kind of get through my own stuff of what I had done to myself as a reaction to that before I could ever get to the core of what really happened to me and how to deal with it. And I'm going to tell you, that didn't happen until a few years ago, and it knocked me to my knees. I almost didn't come back from it. When I finally got to the point, literally, how old am I at? 44, 45 years old, when I finally said, holy shit, this is what happened, I almost didn't come back. It knocked me down in ways that it really knocked me down. So this isn't easy work. This is really hard work. I had a wonderful professional to work with to help me get through it, who just let my process unravel as it needed to unravel. But I had her to support me and guide me and love me through it. And now I'm on the other side. But as I was saying, that never goes away. You can't just get over it. You can't just pretend it didn't happen. You have to face it. You have to face it. You have to feel every ugly, awful thing that goes with it. And I'm not just talking about sexual abuse. I'm talking about abuse and neglect and all the other ugly things that so many of us have to deal with from our past. But the good news is that once you get on the other side, you're free. Sure, it still hurts, and sure, I still cry over it. But I don't have to let it rule me anymore. I don't have to let it dictate how I live my life. I don't have to hide. I don't have to run. I don't have to act out. I don't have to pretend I'm something I'm not. I felt all my life like a fraud, like I was hiding, like I was just showing part of me. But now, you know, whether I choose to talk about it or not, I feel that I can be truly me because I know who I am. I know what happened. I know that I survived it. I know that I survived it in the only way I knew how for a long time. You know, imagine an 8-year-old trying to make sense of stuff that doesn't make sense and what she would do to make sense of it, if that makes any sense, you know. It was a long process. So on this day, when a lot of things get triggered for a lot of people, the advice I got years ago from my therapist was to make your own traditions. Even if you're spending this day alone, make your own traditions. Self-love, take care of yourself. What are you going to do for you? You know, if it brings up painful memories, don't fight them. Acknowledge them. Feel them. Realize that it's not your fault. That you did the best you could with what you had and what you were dealt. And forgive yourself for any wrongs you may have done to yourself and to others as a result. And find ways today to love yourself. Healthy ways to love yourself. For years I jumped in a bottle, jumped in a bag, jumped in a lot of food, jumped in a lot of just behavior that would help me escape. And today I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to spend the day with my snoring dog. I'm going to be grateful for all the love that so many strangers show me and feel confident in knowing that the reason you all show me so much love is because I'm doing and saying something that matters, and that my story matters, and my story can touch people, it can inspire people, it can motivate people. I'm a mess, I'm sorry. And the day might be touched with sadness, but it can also be touched with self-love and self-care and self-empathy. I think that was the hardest thing for me to grow or nurture within myself. Empathy. You know, I've always been so hard on myself and blamed myself for so much of what I viewed as failings in my life or bad behavior or whatever. And it wasn't until a few years ago when I really had that break that I was able to start having some self-love and forgiveness and understanding. So, this is reality. this is what Christmas looks like for a lot of people. It's not what we see on TV. This is what Christmas looks like for a lot of people. And just know that if this is what Christmas looks like for you, I'm here too. And I feel your pain. And I understand. Alright, I guess that's my message. I didn't mean to be such a mess. Like I said, sometimes I turn on the camera and I don't know what I'm going to say. And at the end, I don't even know if I'm going to post it. Because it feels really personal and I'll have to decide. But if this is kind of where you're at today, and I know a lot of you probably will be, please do something nice for yourself, okay? And know that you're special, you're awesome, you're brave, and you're loved. Okay. On that note, I don't know what else to say. Be happy, be free, and be kind. I'll see you soon. And then there are the letters I get, and the little keepsakes from women like Renee and Gabby and Linda and Lori and Patricia and Lillian and dozens, maybe hundreds more, who share their stories with me. And a lot of them are so much like mine that it's just mind-boggling. And by sharing your stories, you tell me that it's okay to share mine. And not only is it okay to share mine, but that it's helpful and that it inspires and motivates and encourages you to talk about those things that are hard to talk about, those things that we have been told we shouldn't talk about. And that by not talking about it, we hold on to that shame and that pain. And feeling like it's ours to own when it isn't. So I gotta tell you, these letters, reading your words like I could have written them myself, are what inspires me to share myself like I have today. Not everybody can understand, or not everyone is going to understand how I can open myself up in an environment like this and share such personal details about my life. And of course, there are going to be trolls who are going to say all kinds of nasty, horrible things about me for doing it. But that's exactly why I chose to do it. Women like me have been told for too long to stay silent. That we shouldn't have a voice. That we should keep our mouths shut. Sit down, shut up, be quiet. And I would like to think that that has changed with the Me Too movement, but it hasn't. I'm seeing examples around me every day, even within my own community, of women being shamed and told to shut up. Don't rock the boat. Who do you think you are? You don't belong here because you dared to speak out. We've been hearing those messages all of our lives. Shut up, sit down, don't talk about it because it's uncomfortable. Well, you know what? Too bad. We shouldn't have to hold on to it and carry that burden by ourselves. We shouldn't have to live with that shame that isn't our shame. We should be able to be set free. We should be able to talk openly about the wrongs that have been done against us. If somebody robbed your house, would you tell them to just shut up and not talk about it? So why is robbing us of our bodies, of our innocence, any different? Why are we told to shut up about it, not talk about it? Why are we shamed and blamed and told we should toughen up when we do talk about it? This video is a lot heavier than I expected it to be. And even now, as I'm walking around, I'm thinking, should I post it? Because I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for it. But I also know that if I do post it, it's going to reach the people it needs to reach with the message that I mean to send. Because really, it's about empowering all of us and telling all of us it's not your fault. And it's okay. You can get through it. You can overcome it. You can come out the other side and be happy and healthy. But it takes a lot of hard work. And unfortunately, it never goes away. Thank you to all the women who give me the courage to speak my truth.